This week on Crunch Week, IPOs heat up, celebrities in gaming, and VR goes mobile. Hi, I'm Kyle Russell, and I'm here with
Sarah Buhr.
And
I'm Alex Wilhelm.
So, Alex, we'll start with your topic since you focus so much on financials. So, IPOs are heating up this week. There's 3 of them in like a day? What happened here?
3 of them in 2 days. If I fall asleep on the show, it's because I've been getting up very early in the morning to cover the East Coast financial cycles. Basically, 3 companies. There was Lending Club, there was New Relic, and then there was Hortonworks. And they all went public in the last 2 days of this week, and they all did really well. And I think that there was a lot of anticipation that at least one of them would kind of like, but it didn't happen. They all did very well, up over 40% each from their prices. So we're seeing kind of a resurgence of this part of the financing sphere, and people think that maybe, just maybe, Box will finally go public.
Okay, so, right, we've been hearing a lot of people kind of holding back on the IPO. How significant is this that the 3 of them did really well?
I mean, it's huge because you're looking to time the market when people are out there really kind of buying IPO shares. So if you just roll the dice and go, it may go well. But if you just saw investors just with huge appetite for these other shares, for companies that are still kind of weak, that says like you're good to go. Because Hortonworks, which I've written about and been kind of mean to all day, their numbers are kind of rough. They lose a lot of money, and Box is kind of more financially astute than they are right now, given that it's a little older, I think. And so if Hortonworks can go public and have this huge debut, then Box probably can as well. And so I guarantee you this is Aaron Levy right now.
So are the dynamics the same though, where like Box has the problem of its cost to acquire customers are still very high compared to its revenues. So, or the amount it has to spend to acquire them. So is that the same though at these new IPOs? Like, are they all, they are in the enterprise space like Box, so are they dealing with that dynamic too and the market is okay with it? Or is it just like they're playing a different game?
Well, Lending Club, put that to the side. With New Relic, New Relic's a very healthy company. Their numbers look pretty good. They've shown, I think, about 100% revenue growth year over year and kind of a flat loss.
Okay.
So they've grown their top line without losing more money.
Right.
Hortonworks did not do that. They went from $15 to $33 million in revenue, and then their loss went from 45 to like 89 million. So like, it's kind of scary. So Box is actually kind of bringing it together now. I'm trying to do a little grasp in my hands. I don't know, that's converting at all to camera.
No, I really wish we had like Jon Stewart style like images that could just pop up.
Like, just like there's data. No, but
imagine graphs.
Exactly. No, I think Box is going to pull the trigger within the next 6 weeks. So probably in January. And I'm really excited.
Okay, so
finally.
How does this play into the trend of companies delaying their IPOs? I think kind of is somewhat related to, or an aspect of the larger trend of companies shifting how they and where they get their money to private markets from public markets. Like if you look over the last couple of years, the number of IPOs, or maybe since 2000, number of IPOs like of 50 million or less, especially in the tech industry, has decreased significantly. So how do these 3 companies like play into that? How is their valuation fit into that trend?
Well, what company are we not talking about here? We're not talking about Dropbox.
Right.
Dropbox picked up a $500 million like line of credit because they were just like, we're not going to go public. Fuck it. That's weird. That didn't happen until like 50 years ago.
Right.
I mean, Microsoft raised a total of like $50 million.
What's the hesitation? Okay, so why do you think that they're hesitating?
I mean, people were just willing to give them so much money. They don't have to go to the public markets to get more cash. I mean, there's just buckets of money, and it's really cheap money too because they're getting these amazing valuations. And so if someone's offering you like amazing free candy, why would you be like, no, I don't want that. I want to go public and have carrots. Like, this is like the best money you can get because they just don't have to tell anyone what they're doing, share financial numbers, share product roadmaps, deal with pesky investor calls. They just get to have oodles of money. I mean, really, it's great. It won't last. It will not last. But for right now, it's great.
Speaking of people making oodles of money without having to go to public markets. So, can you tell us about the Lindsey, Lohan, and OkGo collaboration game thing that you wrote about this morning? I'm curious about it. I didn't get to take a look at it.
Yeah, so I was actually pitched on the fact that Lindsay Lohan had a new mobile game out, which I thought, okay, another celebrity has a mobile game.
Did she sit down with Xcode and like hack this together herself, or what's the deal with this?
Hilarious. Nope. But the really interesting thing about the story is that another sort of celebrity did actually put the code together.
Okay.
And it's, you mentioned OkGo. So Andy Ross, who's the lead guitarist of OkGo, is also surprisingly a programmer. He's been programming since he was in high school and has a computer science degree from Columbia University. And
he's going to be rich the rest of his life. Womp womp.
Oh, my music isn't doing well. I guess I better take this 6-figure salary job at Google.
Life is
Kind
so
of.
hard.
No, he got involved in the early days. In '99, he joined this startup in New York that was kind of like this precursor to Twitter. It was a mobile messaging, text messaging, group messaging company that you could.
What was it called?
It was called UPOC. UPOC. It's now does not exist. Here's what happened. 99, 2002, he was there. The world was not ready for it because no one was texting at that time, especially not in the US. So they created this idea that sounded a whole lot like Twitter, but it totally, utterly failed. And he found himself going, what am I doing? .com bust. I think I'm going to do music. And he started a recording studio, which also failed. And then he followed his lady to California. Through a series of friends, friend of a friend, he starts playing guitar in this little known band called OkGo. They blow up. He's still coding in the back of the van on tour, taking 8 a.m. conference calls to talk about different projects he's working on for who knows why he's still doing this while he's wildly popular in this band. But anyway, he was, and now he has a mobile gaming company where he programs with a bunch of other code monkeys on, it's called Space Inch.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Another popular celebrity game.
And he's still in the game. He's still in the band, and he's still touring with them.
Yep.
Anyways, yes.
So another celebrity game that's doing very well, or has been, it was making an estimated like $100 million annualized. Kim Kardashian's celebrity game.
Right. Yeah, it was supposed to make $200 million by the end of this year, but it's not as popular as it was when it first started.
As happens.
Yeah.
Kim
So,
Kardashian.
but anyway, that started as kind of a generic like, make your celebrity character, and it was kind of like white labeled. It was just not attached to it at all. And then after releasing a couple, I think, variations of that, they approached her and said like, we want to attach it to this. Is that how this happened with Lindsay Lohan, or was it made with her from the beginning? How did that work?
This one was actually made with her from the beginning, but they didn't know that they had the idea for it, but they didn't know who they wanted to have on the game, which celebrity they wanted represented.
Right.
That actually came about. So Space Inch and Andy Ross had this idea based on another game he'd created called Make It Rain, where you literally earn points by like going like this on your mobile phone. So it's kind of similar to that. You do like this to get fans on the game.
It's like the douchebag celebrity version of like a fart app.
Yeah, but it did really well in the App Store, so we thought, let's do this again, but let's make it a...
It did really well in the App Store.
It did.
I mean, are you surprised, sir? Are you surprised at all that would do well in the App Store?
So how well is this Lindsay Lohan adaptation of this doing?
It's doing really well, as you can imagine. It's got Lindsay Lohan's name attached. Last I checked, it was number 10 in the App Store. That was yesterday, so I haven't checked.
I don't know how I feel about that.
It
was just released yesterday.
Is it a free app or a paid app?
It's freemium, same freemium model. You can buy your way to the red carpet. But that's really, I mean, the game itself is more of a commentary on Hollywood and celebrity culture, which is interesting. It's not really, the goal is not like Kim Kardashian Hollywood. The goal here is to teach you that celebrity doesn't matter, and it's ridiculous.
The Kardashian game had a long narrative arc to it. There's a lot of playing and flying around and doing things and building up your status.
Her momager, Kris Jenner, is in the app now. Yeah,
but this is just. So it's not quite as deep, say.
Actually, it has a lot of different sections and elements to it. Like, I mean, you can earn something like 20,000 fans, and then, don't quote me, that's not an exact number, and then you can buy your way into a designer cult.
I don't know if we need to bore our audience with the details of game mechanics. We don't want to waste their time on a Friday afternoon. So I want to get to our last topic, which is VR going mobile. This week, there was news from Google that Cardboard had reached 500,000 units sold. Cardboard is Google's like $25-ish solution for getting your phone to work with VR, and it's basically a cardboard box that you fold up and have your phone in, and boom. Hold it up to your face, you've got VR apps. Alternatively, on the other end of the spectrum, Samsung released the Gear VR, which is a $199 solution where it's basically you slap in your Galaxy Note 4 and you've got a 1440p Oculus-compatible headset that you can actually strap on. You don't have to hold it up to your face. Yeah. So, I don't know how closely you guys follow VR, but...
Well, you wrote about this. Tell us a little bit more about where you see this going.
Okay, so there's like... Basically, these are two ends of the spectrum. There's one that's like, okay, we're going to make it very cheap and affordable and just kind of buy into, like, it'll be something not cardboard won't be the thing that most consumers actually buy. It'll be like probably a plastic unit closer to Gear VR. But Google's intention is clearly to make it so that anyone with a big-ish smartphone can buy into this with like a generic kit, and the apps will just be supported on Android or through like Unity. They released an SDK for that with the cardboard news. The other approach, though, is like premium, like Oculus hooked up to like your really expensive PC. Like the last couple of times I've demoed Oculus, it was with a laptop that cost $3,800 and had 2 graphics cards, or a tower with a $600 graphics card in and of itself. And then, like,
I mean, is that that's not realistic for most people?
That's what I'm curious about. Is which of these ends of the spectrum do you guys see like? I would actually buy into that.
I mean, the thing with cardboard is, I thought it was gonna suck, right? Because I'm like, it's cardboard on a phone, and I'm just holding it to my face.
We kind of thought it was a joke,
right? Or just not that good. And then I used it in the office, and it was really awesome. Like, I was dramatically impressed by how much you could get out of this little bit of cardboard, and so I feel like maybe for most people, that will be the first thing they use. It's so accessible, so cheap, and really highly functional. I think things like Oculus are the future. Like, eventually we're going to be all in the TechCrunch office just Oculus, and not like looking at anyone else. And that'll be cool too.
Kind of like that South Park episode where they're all inceptionized and they don't know who's actually in the game. And
is that the WoW episode?
No, there was a recent Oculus episode where they can't. Oculus support calls them, and then they're like, "Yes, actually, no, you're locked, trapped in Oculus."
I'm pretty sure the theme of this episode is I don't know anything about pop culture. No, but I mean, I think cardboard is good enough and cheap enough and accessible enough that it'll be the first thing people use, and I think it'll hook them. I think, yeah.
I just think it's so funny that the actual solution for virtual reality, like, we've joked for a long time of like, yeah, I'm like, I have my phone glued to my eyeballs. It's like, no, now you can actually strap your phone to your face. Like, that's our solution for the next generation of like medium for computers.
It has to get a lot cooler looking though, because Oculus, as promising, as awesome as it sounds, it looks completely ridiculous.
No, my favorite Tumblr is white guys wearing Oculus.
Yes, it looks ridiculous.
No, like
face segue.
It's a face segue. It's a new, yes.
No, and that's the thing about like making it mobile. I don't know how much that makes sense, because it's a device where I want to wear it like in private, where I know no one will like make fun of me. So like, I'm not going to bring it on the train.
You just need a better design.
I might wear it like maybe on like an airplane, like everyone's falling asleep around you, like, yeah, sure, I'll watch a movie on this. But like, where else would you actually use that in public?
No.
Nowhere. It has the Google Glass problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sadly.
Cost and awkwardness.
It sounds really, really awesome, but there's a design flaw.
Okay, so I think that's fairly reflective of like non-VR enthusiast views on this. So I think that's a good point to wrap up the show. I think that's all we got for this week. So thanks for joining us here on Crunch Week.